Hey guys, welcome back to another West Coast Mopars video. I've got multiple projects on the go at all times, but I thought I'd show a little bit of this wagon. This is my 58 Plymouth two-door Suburban station wagon. It's got a Dodge, it's a 57 Dodge nose on it, and it's not actually a Canadian car, as you know, guys would call it a plodge, where they had a Plymouth body with a nose, a Dodge nose. This one actually was a normal Plymouth with a Plymouth nose, but when I got it, it only had one fender and a bumper. Everything else was gone. So I had another 57 Dodge out back that I used the front clip from. So obviously it's not all on there right now. The bumpers and stuff are just sort of laying behind it. But whenever I get free time, I sort of pick away at this one. It's a pretty neat car. So this was sitting out at a friend's place out in the field for I think since '79, and it was parked with another one which I've actually got here as well. It's the parts car for this car, and that one is a 57 Dodge Suburban, also a two-door station wagon. So anyways, this has been an ongoing project, and I am not a body man, so I know in the video it looks pretty good, but I just sort of did some body work one day. This thing was so bad. The rockers were gone, the floors were completely gone. The frame's pretty good, but like this whole quarter panel was flopping around. There was nothing. There was no trunk. The tailgate was rusted. You couldn't open it. I'll see if I can attach some pictures. Oh, can't get in. I see if I can attach some pictures of what this looked like when I found it. There was bushes growing over top of it. The inside, it was like a greenhouse. There was all these ferns growing inside. Oh, it was a mess. But I just did here's a good example of, like, I haven't touched any of this yet. This is what the rockers were doing. They're just done. The floor pans in this thing they're not real floor pans. They're just stuff I had laying around that I tacked in. I had to put a bunch of square tubing under the floor to hold the car together. It's basically welded to the frame and then welded across to those quarter panels over there. But you know, if you saw this thing when I started, people laughed at me like, just crush it, it's not worth it. But you know, I just enjoy trying to save these old things, and even if I get to drive it around and I'm happy, then you know, who cares what other people think. So but yeah, it's a pretty neat car. It's I've got a radio delete plate for there. It probably had a radio and I'm guessing somebody took it, but I do have paperwork for this car too in my name, which is pretty cool. Last registered 1978. It's got the sport steering wheel, and it's actually got green tinted glass, so it's like a pretty bare bones car as far as I can tell, but it's got factory green tinted glass. The front window is in amazing shape. There's the old inspection sticker that we used to get here in BC. I think that's from '75, so in '75 it passed its inspection. But yeah, and then the paint on this, I actually painted this car outside, pretty much where it's parked. I was trying to just do just a quick, who cares kind of paint job. I sprayed it in epoxy and sealed it up, and then I sprayed this white, and it's actually a dark blue. I don't know how well you can tell on the camera. It kind of looks black, but there's an earlier video on the channel of my little '65 Valiant, two-door post, 318 4-speed. And that car I painted as well in this same paint. It was actually the same paint as this. This was just left over from that project. And that was a blue body with a white roof. So I sort of figured whichever paint I have more of, I'll use that. And that was the white. So this is, majority is white, and the rest is dark blue. But yeah, it's got the roller works good for the window. All this interior stuff's pretty pretty gross. You know, you can see there's another good example. Like the trim rotted away, and there's the window channel rotted away. So the only thing holding the glass in was the trim. So like there's stuff like that I still got to address. All kinds of stuff. I did get some of the wiring sorted out. I got the taillights and the headlights and stuff working. The gas tank actually goes in the quarter panel here, but here's the remnants of the gas tank. I don't think I'm gonna even bother trying to fix it. I've got a 68 Monaco parts car back here, and I'll probably just stick that gas tank down here somewhere, and then build another tray over top, and just, you know, I'm just trying to use stuff I got. Yeah. What else can I show you? I've got a couple engine choices in here in my shop. This here is a 56 354 Hemi. The numbers on it come up as it's actually a factory dual quad, and then the side of the block here was split wide open. I'm assuming from improper storage with water in it, because the engine was outside. So it had split open, and a buddy of mine came over. No, we can save that. So he cast weld it. I'll still probably epoxy it with JB Weld or something just to stop it from weeping, but we'll see what it does. And then again, both the heads are also split on the top side where the valves are, or sorry, where the valve springs are. So I don't know what to do there. I've been having a hard time finding car heads. You know, they got the ports on each side, not the truck heads. I don't want the truck heads. There's valve covers, oil pan, rocker arms. I've got everything for it. It was a complete engine that I tore apart. There's the mains. So here's where I'm at with this engine. Is I did put new cam bearings in it, and the cam is back in. The cam, like, it was actually a fairly low mileage engine. It's still standard bore. The whole thing is not that bad a shape, other than the side there where it cracked, but that's just the water jacket. I'm not too worried. The cylinder walls were in great shape. So I did hone it out. I put new rings on it. It's actually got the factory 10-to-1 pistons in it. I had to find those because one of them was broken, so I found another set. Here, I just spun it over, but here's these pistons were slightly taller than the most of the pistons I could find were 8, I think 8.5 or 8-to-1. They're a little bit shorter in the height. So anyways, I've got everything here to put it back together except for rod bearings. But I've got 3 other sets of pistons with rods for a 354, and there's a set upstairs here that's got a really nice set of rod bearings. So I'll use plastic gauge and, you know, make sure everything looks okay. If I can reuse some stuff, I mean, obviously buying new, it'll be new, but I don't know. I'm trying. You could laugh at me all you want. I'm trying to build a Hemi on a budget. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it can be done. Transmission options, I'd like to keep it a push button because that's what that car has. So I do have a couple push button transmissions for this thing as well. Here's the engine that came out of it. It's underneath this jacket here. It's a Plymouth engine. It's a 313 poly. So that's, but it does spin over, but I don't think I'm going to use it for that project. And then, or the other option is way off in the corner here under everything else is a 400 big block. And I sort of had thoughts of just going through it and make it look like a 350. Chrysler had a 350 and 58, and it was a B block, you know, and then they also had the 361, which then later was, you know, they just kept using the 383s, but and they sort of called it, you know, Golden Commando or Golden Lion. They had that theme going, so that's an option. And then over here as well, you can't really see it very well, I do have a 65 C-body 727, which is a still a push button cable driven transmission with a slip yoke. So I have a couple options for it, but I'd like to go with the Hemi just for the sake of it's kind of cool. A Plymouth never got a Hemi in the 50s. They always had a Poly. So be a neat, kind of a neat thing to put in the old wagon. Anyways, just thought I'd show you guys one of my other projects here, and I'll try and keep updating this one as well. Thanks, guys.